Welcome back to Uncraft. This is episode probably 4. I'm not exactly sure because I'm still editing the second episode. I have enough footage for a third right now. Editing is my nemesis, turns out. So we're gonna just do our best here. But today's theme is gonna be all about catch up because Cole has his house fully finished. We have some other bases going on. We have a little XP farm over here. Hey, what's up, guy? And honestly, I just feel a little sad about my base. And I think it should be better, it could be better, and it will be better this episode. We do have the XP farm finished, the Guardian XP farm. And we have some really good gear right now. We have the decent helmet. We have a really good elytra. I mean, as good as it's going to get for now. We have a really awesome pair of leggings and then like a perfect pair of boots. I think we're gonna focus less on kitting up and more on some necessities. Like, what are the main things that we're gonna need? Number one is more space. So we're gonna have to collect a lot of stone, some moss, some grass, and some wood, so that we can get another floating island going and get like a basic outline for what our base is gonna look like. That's gonna be top priority. Longer term goals, if we have time, I'd love to get at least one part of an iron farm going, probably somewhere in this direction. I think that's our basic plan for today. I'm going to try and stay on track and try to get some stuff done pretty quick here. Let's get started. Thank you. Okay, gotta be very careful. I'm using the actual pick that I wanted to get rid of. Yeah, I left my grindstone over there because I'm so confident that this is going to have fortune on it. Oh my god. Well, let's do it again. All right, this time, there's no way. Efficiency 4, fortune 3. Okay, and this one's the 1. Yes! Okay, that's awesome because now we have this book too, and I can combine them and make an efficiency 5, fortune 3 pick. So now we have a good mining pick. We just got to add vein miner and mending to this, which we already have at home. Once we get that set up, we're going to go underground. We're going to grab some stone, and we can grab some ores while we're there too. All right, fortune 3, efficiency 5, unbreaking 3, mending, vein mine. It's official. We have 2 pretty awesome picks. This one's only efficiency 4, but I'm not complaining. And this one is so rad. All right, let's get underground. All right, into the depths we go. I've already been in this cave a little bit, but we're gonna go just explore a tiny bit more. Whoa. Okay. Okay, we're off to a great start. Oh my gosh. Give me a break. So that was a little crazy. I just want to quickly go over the main things that we're looking for right now. We don't need any of this. I'll keep the string though. We're looking for tough. We want to grab some ores. And I think probably another type of stone block. If we see... Oh, and glow lichen. I don't know if I can pick this up with this. Whoa! That was crazy. Just gonna make a quick purchase here. Ooh, and there goes our anvil. Back in we go. All right, let's test this puppy out. That wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. There we go. That's more like it. Oh my god, I gotta go. All right, I know. Yes, there's diamonds here. Boom, full vein. How many we get? 7. We're gonna have to keep moving quick here. Woo! Almost just jumped straight into lava. Oh. Oh, it mined the copper too. That's crazy. Where are you? Oh! That was crazy. Yo, we got a slime chunk over here. Don't think I'm gonna do anything with that, but good to know. Okay, we just got to a new area of this cave and it is just massive. Okay, whoa, that was crazy. The inventory management situation is at an all-time low. I can't help but pick up more items that I don't want, and even though I'm trying to put everything in its block form and like allocate things where they're supposed to go, this is a nightmare. Here we go. We found some more open caves, and check it out, diamonds. We also have tough. Pretty stoked about that. All right, we got quite a bit. I took down this whole thing, and then this entire crater here was full of tough. So we've got about this many stacks, however many that is. And I think that's probably good for now. Oh, baby, we found one. I don't know if I'm going to collect any of the calcite or the basalt, but I think I'm definitely... I gotta be careful. I don't think that was a bud, but we'll see. I gotta be collecting these amethyst blocks. These things rock. Oh my god, and they're fully grown. No way. Ugh. Still feels so scary. I don't want to break these. Okay, so we got a weirdly small amount of blocks, but a ton of the shards. So overall, I'm going to say that was kind of a win. There is a lot of lava around this side, so I don't think I'm going to keep this as like to make this a farm at some point. I'm just going to kind of leave it here and maybe check in on it some other day. Okay, that was a pretty successful mining haul. This is obviously not organized right now, but I figured why organize it here when I could organize it into my actual chests. So we're going to get started. First things first, we got all this tuff, which is awesome. I love the look of these bricks. Oh my gosh, especially in the jungle. They just look very like cartoony or like it looks like an illustration more than like a block in the game. It looks so great. I don't know. I love the tough bricks. I don't know if I like the polished tuff very much. No, I do. I do like it. Yeah, I do think that's really nice. That's just like a lower level of detail than this, but it's the exact same block. These obviously look darker because there's more shadow. Okay, that's going to be good to know. And then let's just take a quick look at the chiseled tuff because I haven't really looked at this block yet. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, also next to these, it's like a brick in the middle. Like this is the same texture as this right here. That's kind of neat. Okay, cool. All right, I'm getting visions. I'm getting visions. And then we're going to use sea lanterns as like our main lighting source. So we'll have like probably sea lantern and then some kind of glass over it with like tuff around it. And I think that'll look really nice. Very futuristic. This is animated. And then I'd love to have amethyst blocks be our kind of accent color. All right, I was waiting for this iron to smelt and trying to figure out what the easiest way is to get mossy cobblestone and mossy stone brick. And you can either use vines or you can use moss blocks. So we do have access to a lot of vines, but collecting vines is kind of a pain, and there's not a really good way to do it automatically. And if we're going to want to make a lot of mossy cobblestone, or mossy stone bricks, it's going to be well worth it to make a moss farm. So I think I'm going to design one myself. I don't want to copy one off the internet. I feel like this is something I can do. I'll be honest with you, it's been a couple days. I haven't been working on this for a couple days, but I've been, hard at work in my actual real life. And so in the meantime, every like couple minutes that I have, I can get something done. I've been taking that opportunity to work on this. We've got a working design right now, but I think we got a small issue over here. that I think I should be able to explain pretty easily. So we're going to go into free cam to take a look. So you'll notice we are grabbing, we have these extended by default, which is causing a little bit of an issue because if a stone block is stuck here and this can't extend, this will extend and push the stone block up into the lava and can ruin our design here. So that's less than ideal. So watch what happens when we press this. Boom. So now this block is stuck, and then what's going to happen is stone is going to come up. So what I got to do is switch these two around, I think, and that should fix my problem. All right, well, I'm overcomplicating this. Why don't we literally just do this? And problem solved. So I think that may have solved my problem. The only thing over here is now these are reversed. We need this to be extended by default because we need the water to be able to flow over top. So watch this. As soon as I go up here and flush the water, almost just fell off. That was almost embarrassing. Now it's going to get stuck here. So now this is extended by default. I'm going to click the button. You know, that might work. Oh, there's no bone meal. Taking a quick break to enchant a shovel for coal. Look at all this stuff he's got here. The deed is done. This is an absolute spaghetti monster of redstone. This just does not probably need to be this complicated. And I'll explain what's going on in every piece here, but it's working. So the easiest part was the clock. I just had to figure out the timing that I wanted here. For some reason, that is not looking right. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Hold on. I think I might have just clicked it twice or something, but oh no, it's doing it again. How is this getting an extra? Oh, it's from this. Oh. Okay, we're not done. I realized that I had a redstone line connecting to this that I needed before I did this piston or this pulse extender, and I don't need it anymore. So I just forgot to get rid of it. So anyway, problem solved. We got the farm running right now, so I can turn it off with this lever, and that should just stay off now. Perfect. Okay, cool. So the timing is so that the stone usually doesn't have any issues. I've seen it turn into cobblestone a couple times, but that's mostly just from finicky things that I've been messing with, not from the clock actually running, which is a good sign. So we'll just run through it one by one. So first thing that happens is it starts this clock, and it's just going to go on a continuous loop. Once this lever's off, this is going to turn back on, come back around. Very self-explanatory. With this observer, it's going to go into a 2-tick pulse, into an inverted signal through this redstone torch, and that is what starts this whole clock right here. So these are on by default, which means that the piston is extended by default because of this line right here, and then the dispenser is off by default because of this redstone torch. Let's collect some of these things. Again, we had to switch these around. These ones right here, these regular pistons were originally the ones that were fully extended. Now we've had it inverted so that these ones are the ones that are fully extended. And then with this timing, especially with the 2-tick delay coming from this observer, makes it so that the stone doesn't get stuck so often. All right, and so then this right here is the brain for when the water is going to turn on. So basically what we have in here is 5 diamond hose. I had a lot extra from that villager trading hall that's behind that tree there. So I have 5 diamond hose. They go into this hopper right here. as soon as there's 5 in here, because we have a pulse going into the side of our comparator and it's on subtract mode, we're going to get a signal coming through this way. This extends the pulse. This is a comparator pulse extender. That goes down into here. That will pull away the redstone block, which lets the diamond hose go back into the dropper. And at the same time, that's going to open the trapdoors and flush all of the items into the bone meal collection. Now the bone meal gets, or all the moss and seeds and stuff goes in here. Obviously gets turned into bone meal using the compact, what is this thing called? Composter. They go into this, into the hopper chain, right into our dispenser, and it is self-feeding. I have not tested it for a long time, so I don't know if this is self-sustaining or not. But the whole point of this is to get moss blocks, and I'm sure you're wondering how we're going to get those. And we're going to do that with these guys. They are going to grab moss blocks before they ever enter this. I've got a pretty good idea of how to do this, but first I'd like to breed these guys. So let's do a little dance party. Oh, they're dancing. That's so awesome. Oh, nice. Wait, oh, so they each duplicate one. Okay, that's really, really loud. Nice. I'll pick these guys up. I freaking love this song. So now that we have 2 fresh LAs, we're going to try and make a collection system. I know that they do it based on note blocks. So I think we need to hook it up to this clock. Okay, I'm standing a little bit away from the farm right now, just to make sure that the LAs don't get distracted by me. And it seems to be working pretty well. They're definitely putting stuff in. I can't peek at the tile entities right now, but seems like they're throwing it in pretty accurately. Sometimes it's getting stuck under here and sometimes down here, but they seem to come by and pick it up and try again. But they do definitely like being down here, I'm noticing. It's almost like they're trying to get under the note block instead of throwing it up here. Something that is annoying about this farm, though, is it's not very fast. It's good. It's good enough. And we're getting moss pretty fast. But it's definitely not a bone meal farm. It's just self-sustaining, and then we get some moss on the side, which is pretty nice. I'd also love to figure out a way when this chest is full for it to turn off. And I think I could do that pretty easily just with a comparator. There we go. And then this should work. That should lock the repeater. Should be all good. I'm going to leave this running for a little bit and just kind of see how everything goes. And I'll check in with you in a sec. So this is it in all of its glory. It's functional, but is it fast? No. Is it pretty? No. Did I use redstone efficiently? Definitely not. Is it my own design? Yes. And that is all I really cared about. The moss collection is going pretty well. It seems we're like halfway through this chest already, which is pretty sweet. The bone meal is keeping up enough. You'll see it here. It's probably going to run out in a sec. And we'll get down to just a couple moss blocks left, and then it'll refresh. But I honestly don't know that it makes sense for it to go any faster than this. Otherwise, we'll be wasting bone meal. Pretty major design flaw is that it's just doing bone meal every single time. I think in the future, it might be nice to have it go every 2 or 3 times. And I'm sure there's better ways of going about this as well. But for now, it's working really well, and we have plenty of moss to get started on our first main island. So let's get going. It's island time. All right. You might be wondering why my hotbar looks so interesting, and that's because Tweakaroo has a hotbar slot randomizer. So we're going to use that for our base of our island here. So I decided to branch out just a little bit. And this is essentially where the very bottom of our island is going to be. we're going to come up, I think, until 130, 130, maybe 128, and that'll give us 2 to 4 blocks of wiggle room. Yeah, so our feet are at Y128 right now. Let's see how tall that is. So that means that the island is going to kind of go in that kind of a shape here. So we're only going to have a little bit of space. So this one might be the small one that is next to a larger one, and I might have the larger one over here. So next thing that we've got to do is connect these two. Let's actually, first of all, let's just take a look and see. Yeah, okay, so that's not even remotely big enough because this is going to have to come up and out. So we need to go out like 4 or 5 more blocks on this one. Same as this one, that's also 6. This one is a little better. Probably go 2 or 3. So we'll extend everything by, let's go 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is now a bigger island. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll do it again over here. And then over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Swift Sneak is actually saving me right now. That's crazy. That's our general shape right there. That's a big island. I'm actually pretty happy about that. So now we got to connect these. Okay, I got my randomizer on. So now let's actually top this off. And let's get going. And then let's turn it off and we'll just connect the dots here. Let's see how that looks. Okay. I don't want to get too messed up with my details, so let's cut this one off, and then we can switch this out for dirt later. And I can even make a little mental note that that's where I want the dirt. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's do the same thing on all 4 sides, and I'll check in once I've got that done. All right, we used almost exactly a stack of each. I collected some from the middle pillar there, some regular cobble. But let's take a look at the shape we've got going on right now. It's a little funk, not gonna lie. We got a little bit of a nice curve on this one. This one's got that kind of S shape that we were looking at earlier. This one's pretty much straight up, which I actually kind of like. And then this one is, again, also kind of just straight up. So we have a much more round, normal looking side over here. And then this side, just coincidentally, happens to be kind of rapidly comes up and then flattens out and then comes back up again, which I really like. I think this is going to look really cool, and that gives us the opportunity to do kind of like a second drip right here. So now the next thing I got to do is connect all the corners. So we'll just do it one layer at a time. And unfortunately, I don't have any mods installed, like replay mod, that let me do like a time lapse of that. So I'm just going to have to check in a little bit once we're maybe a quarter of the way done and we have more of a shape finished. Okay, it's coming along. It's coming along. How do we feel about the color scheme that we have going on? It's just the 2 blocks, which I want it to look a lot like a jungle temple. We can even see over here. It's pretty much just 50-50 on the jungle temple. And I do kind of want to keep that jungle theme. So I think for the time being, it's good. We're going to leave it for now. I'll check in with you once I have all the rings closed up, and we can expand our platform underneath, do some glow lichen, some vines, start doing some decor. All right, I'm just putting the roof on now, or I guess the floor. I'm only making this 1 layer of dirt right now because I don't plan on doing any terraforming yet. I think eventually I will fill in the inside with something other than just torches and air. But right now, this is what it looks like on the top. And then let's take a look under the hood. Um, Really thought that was gonna look a lot better. So I'll deal with that in a sec. You could tell it's a little flat on this side. So that's something that I kind of have to consider when I make my next one. Is that when it gets higher, I have to do a lot more to be intentional about bringing it out. And then I think I'd like to have some amethyst peeking out of little holes in here, so it looks like there's a little glimmer of purple around. I think that'd be really cool. Like do amethyst with glow lichen on top of it, so it looks like purple glowing. Um, I think that could be really cool. Well, my collar's blue, but my neck is red. Been working like a dog just to keep my family fed. All right, I got a quarter of the scaffolding done. I only had so much netherrack, and I honestly don't want to make a giant scaffolding and then have to tear it down. So we're going to do this a quarter at a time. This is the corner where I wanted to put the dripstone, so I'm going to just try and crank one of those out. I think I have a pretty good idea of how to do this, though. Okay, this is voiceover Nick because I was just yapping about absolutely nothing. But this is the update after I finished the second drip. I think it looks pretty good, especially from far away. I'm like pretty happy with it. Definitely a very soft, round shape. It looks a little unnatural right now, but honestly, overall, I'm okay with it. All right, it's the middle of the night, so I just wanted to kind of check in and see what this is looking like right now. Let's get rid of this torch because it's kind of distracting. I'm actually gonna get rid of all of them. And let's just take a look here. I threw in some purple and some glow lichen, and I'm trying to hide it. So like whenever there's a fully exposed block, I'm trying to cover it with the glow lichen because it's kind of gray, and it just makes it look a little less out of place. But then the farther back you get, the more washed out that purple gets, and it just looks more like stone. And I don't know, part of me thinks that I do want a little more purple poking out. I'll just do a quick comparison here. So just for reference, this is what it looks like now. This is what it looks like far away. And we'll put it right there. Now it's way more purple, and you can tell from way farther away. So I think that will end up looking better from a distance. Like if you're looking at it from even over here, like let's say you're just walking over and you're in the forest down here, you're looking at it and you can tell there's purple in there, but it's subtle. Whereas when it's fully covered up, it's not quite as subtle. But up close, you're like, wow, that is just like a block of purple right up on in there. So I'm a little conflicted. I'm going to figure out what to do, and I'll check back in. I'm looking at it from a much closer angle, obviously on my temporary island here. And I really like having this big splotch of purple. I think I need to do that more, and I may even end up doing um, like chunks of crystal, just because I think that's I'm starting to really like the vibe of the purple. Okay, I think I've got this to a point where I'm really happy with it. So let's take a look. We've got giant veins of amethyst crystals now. I got rid of all the glow lichen and I switched them out for sea lanterns hidden in the ceilings, covered up by a wall. And then I just kind of went around and did the veins for the whole thing. Feel like it looks pretty good. It's a little sporadic. I think that needs a little bit more detail work. Like it needs some vines, it needs a little bit more stairs, and some slabs just to kind of smooth out some of the parts. But I think that's kind of where I'm going to leave it today. I'm getting a little bit of like visual fatigue looking at this thing. Um, and I'm pretty happy with where it is right now. So I think next episode, our priority is going to be getting something up here. Um, at least some sort of landing pad, I think. I have some ideas for what I want to do with this specific island. I don't think this is where our main base is going to be. So our temporary beautiful island here might last a little bit longer than I originally thought. Um, but we also have to figure out some other things next episode. We have to figure out how we're going to get up here. And I think I might want to do something with wind charges. So we'll see where we go with that. And then we might have some other farms to build. I'm super excited to see where our new home takes us and to get some actual buildings done on this island here. So, anyway, thank you for tuning in, Nick. It's always good to see you, and see you next time.